Good morning, everyone, especially to the OIC Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. J. Belen, Vice President for Research and Extension, Dr. Nagi. Of course, to our guests, speaker, we have Dr. Antue and Dr. Marsigan. And to all of us who are present today, good morning. So, yeah. So my task this morning is to share to you the JRMSU experience of flexible learning in behalf of our FS Director, Professor Jovito Anito. Alright, so let's go back to what we have done. So I go through with this presentation, I want you to go back to the FLS, where it started. So why FLS exists, then what have we planned during the time as we came up with the idea of flexible learning system in the university and what we have done so far and what can we do in the future. So these are the things that we have to ask ourselves as of this point in time. So let's move on. So there are various factors affecting higher education institutions such as the concerns of Memorial State University, the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity of the learning, teaching and learning lead us to come up with flexible learning, especially when the COVID-19 pandemic strikes way back in 2019. So actually, not the JRMSU is not the only institution are affected during the time. Actually, all of the HEIs all over the world are affected with the pandemic. So we came up with a flexible learning to ensure that continuity learning is ensured. No? So we will never stop learning. So we came up with flexible learning system. Alright? Okay, so the Flexible Learning Systems Office was created to manage, evaluate, and continuously improve the university's flexible learning system. And this office are responsible to the following. First, the University Learning Continuity Plan. So the Flexible Learning System are in charge now in formulating and developing and crafting the University Learning Continuity Plan and should see to it that it is in place, properly implemented, and regularly evaluated and updated accordingly. So in the past 2 years, as we implement the Flexible Learning System in university, the Flexible Learning System Office are constantly monitoring and implementing this different, and we came up with the different FLS guidelines and forms to help us implement our learning continuity plan. Alright, so next, a system of assessment. This is to guide our instructors on how to go with the assessment in the flexible learning system. And the flexible learning system should ensure that it is in place to screen potential learners, to monitor and evaluate the attainment of learning outcomes, and to trace graduates in terms of relevance and productivity. Because we believe that these are critical aspects also to ensure that our graduates should possess relevance and productivity. Then next, the flexible learning handbook. So our learning continuity plan has been translated into a flexible learning handbook. This is to ensure smooth implementation of the system in the university. Thank you, sir. So basically, the flexible learning system has different components. We have 5 actually. First, we have the finance component. We have the research and evaluation. We have the learning management system, the learning continuity plan, and the personnel and client satisfaction. And these components are being led by the different unit heads from different campuses. For example, the finance component is being led by Sir Jantan Ganfon from the main campus. We have the personnel and client satisfaction from Rochelle Ranes of the Polo campus. We have research and evaluation. We have Mami Habagat from Katipunan campus, and then learning continuity, yours truly. And then for the learning management system, we have Gemma Shrine Pisedas from Shopon campus. Alright, so these are the different components. So we're working hand in hand with our director to implement the different policies in the university in terms of flexible learning system. Alright, so this was approved to the Board Resolution 160/2020, the creation of the office. Alright, please. Okay, so our framework has always been participatory process. We from time to time we engage our stakeholders faculty members, even we even engage to students and community, no? Through our iFlex, no? We gather our stakeholders during the time to came up with the participatory engagement among our stakeholders to listen to them as to what are their thoughts about our flexible learning system in the university. So we ensure that there are shared understanding, shared responsibility, and then we also anchored our framework to participatory strategies through consultation, presentations, and surveys. So with that, okay, talking about surveys, so this is our flexible learning handbook. Yes. Our learning continuity plan we submitted to the Commission on Higher Education and we translated that into our flexible learning handbook. Okay, so talking about survey, so before we implement our programs, initially, during way back in 2019, we came up with a survey for us to come up with a basis, to come up with a data on how we go over with our flexible learning system. So first, we have here the result. I just want to just to go back why we came up with the different programs of the FLS. So during our survey, it was found out that both students and teachers depend on mobile data for internet access. Alright? About 33% of the students and 32% of teachers access the internet using their mobile phones. Yeah. So the parent survey revealed that about 71% of them do not have internet access. So by the data alone, you can really see that there are really a problem in terms of internet access, even with among our teachers. Then both students and teachers primarily use smartphones to communicate and access the internet. 97% of students and 88% of teachers have smartphones, and about 56% of the teachers have laptops, while only 6% of the students do. So yeah. And then both students and teachers prefer to communicate using Facebook Messenger. So we maximize our messenger. About 83% of students and 94% of teachers prefer Facebook Messenger as means of communication. Yeah. So that is why, next slide, please. Okay, to continue, majority of the teachers, about 56%, have experience using Google Classroom for online management of the courses. This is consistent with the claim of 41% of the students that they have experienced the Google affiliated LMS. Majority of the students prefer modular approach, and teachers mostly worried about academic integrity and assessment. Very common kasi self-paced learning mga bata, nobody is watching them while they are studying at home. So yun, so the teachers worry about integrity with the assessment. Alright, next slide, sir. And then to continue, about 98% of the parents surveyed commit to help monitor their children's learning activities and progress in their flexible learning. So, and we believe that this is a very good opportunity to also engage our parents in the system. And the majority of the parents agreed to allow their children to come to JRMSU campus to submit requirements and take exams, about 64%. And express willingness to spend for postal services for the submission of their children's requirements and outputs. So that's it, our continuous. Okay, most of the learners also across the campus are beginners. And I think this is a very important information. Low level of technology, in general, in the whole system. In terms of digital literacy, moreover, significant figures also indicated that they are in advanced level. But most of them are beginners. Okay. So in terms of internet connectivity, most learners are using mobile data as primary internet connectivity through their smartphones, which are capable of 4G. So if they just have their loads, they can also access internet, but in a limited capacity. Especially in making the requirements, as they only have their smartphones. So most of them has no laptops, so more or less all the requirements should be done through their smartphones. And that's quite hard for them. So most students prefer full face-to-face learning. Yeah. However, significant numbers also indicated that they also prefer combination of modular learning, online learning, and face-to-face learning. Because during the time, we cannot go on with face-to-face learning. That is why the university came up with a different learning modalities. Yes, sir. Okay, we have here the different flexible learning modalities in the university. Way back And academic year 2020-2021, we have two modality. We have the online learning modality, the OLM, and the modular learning modality. And most of our students opted to choose the modular learning modality through the use of our flexible learning package. Yeah. And then in the academic year 2021-2022, some of the courses are already allowed, such as the health-related courses. They are allowed to go on with limited face-to-face. So that is why the university adapted the different additional learning modality, that is the blended learning modalities already. And in the JRMSU context, blended learning is the combination of online learning modality, modular learning, and the limited face-to-face. So that is our blended learning. So during the time when we implement those policy in the university, we also conduct survey to continuously monitor how the progress or any programs we have implemented is effective or not. So here are the results of our evaluation, and this is the work of our colleagues here from the FLS unit, headed by Ma'am Habaga. Okay. So student experience in the flexible learning process. So we asked our students, how was your experience on the flexible learning process in the university? And there are positive experiences, and there are also some negative experiences. On the positive side, we have here most of us, about 622 responses, indicated that we have experienced good about the flexible learning system. On the other extreme, negative experience naman, about 1,381 responses, they say it's difficult. So yun, mas marami yung nagsabing difficult compared sa good. And that is based on our survey. So that's it, the students' perception about flexible learning system. And then, when they are asked to describe flexible learning package naman, how do they perceive about our flexible learning package, our modules? So according to them, there are some of them say it's good, and most of them are on the positive side. Yung karamihan dyan nagsasabi about 177 responses say it's good. On the negative side naman, sabi nila, 212 of them responded that it's difficult to deal down with modules. Because these are things that we can still improve in the future with the FLSO. Also, there are also other responses, but I just highlighted some of them, yung medyo marami. Okay, next, sir. Students' academic engagement, some of them, all efforts were exerted according to some of the students, 30 of them says. And then sabi din na namin, difficult pa rin. Marami nandun talaga yung mga word na difficult. So talagang nahihirapan. The students found it very difficult to engage with flexible learning system. Although all efforts were exerted by the university to support them and so on. Anyway, go on, sir. Okay, teachers' effort in ensuring that their student would successfully finish the course. This is based on students' perception. There are negative things that we found out during bakit kaya nagkaroon ng difficulty. Why student perceive difficulty in the engagement of flexible learning. So we look into the negative result of the survey. According to them, no response of teachers who do not reach out the students. So yun pala, that will explain why. And then required online exam despite of the modular learning modality. Though they opted to choose the modular learning, but still teachers are requiring them to take online exam. So that's another problem. And according to them, some teachers are unapproachable and give pressure to students. So these are based on our survey. Okay? So yeah, next slide. Okay, so we also asked them, what are the possible changes that we could make in our flexible learning system? According to them, we changed the flexible learning package or learning modules. About 318 responses. Yeah. And then, another suggestion, face-to-face classes now. And then, we are already implementing it now, the face-to-face classes. Okay. And then, as in the flexible learning process as a whole, according to them, dapat meron siya more time. The student need more time to answer. So, siguro medyo heavy yung the modules that we have, and then students have limited time to answer, to to digest all the information that they have read and then answer all the different learning activities. So yeah, they need more time for that. Okay, sir? Another, flexible learning package, and then clarity of modules. According to them, sabi nila, ang gagawin na natin, pwede natin gawin, we have to improve the quality of modules. We have to chunk the learning packages down, siguro by topic, by chapter, and then dapat clear yung modules natin. Overall, the different activities that we have. So these are the result of our evaluation among our students, teachers, and parents. Okay, so now we have go back to our question. So what we have done a lot of things already. We have planned a lot of things. We were able to implement it. But the last question remains: what can be done in the future? So I guess our guest speaker here this morning will help us to look into the future. Now, based on our experience and move forward for the betterment of the university. Thank you very much and good morning.